I know Matthew needed to go. Matt needed to go first, so I'm going to ask if he go on and go first, and then I'm going to let you all, because I'm sorry, I had another meeting over in Franklin. I'm out now, so that's why I look funny. I'm in my car, and then I will let you all go. I know that there are certain things that I did have a question about, and one was having to do with fire stations, because we had a question specifically from Carruthers Farms area um, about them being so far. Uh-oh, can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. About being so far from a fire station that they wanted to be able to have a fire truck cross county lines to come to them, because there was one closer in Nolensville. That was a specific question. And then there was some information about the area, how do, or who do you contact specifically besides just me when you see lots of trash in the yard, and what is the difference between it just being thrown out and somebody has thrown it out on personal property, that type of thing. And then there was a specific question about projects that are coming to the area. So other than that, I'm going to say, when you all come on, just introduce yourselves and whatever that you think is pertinent to 33. I will let you do that, but I will ask that Matt goes first because he has another meeting that he has to go to. And thank you all so very much for changing and coming on a Wednesday. I know this is different, but I've got a work session that I've got to do Thursday as well, and we don't want to have it during planning meetings. So I'm gonna get off now. I'm gonna back off, and Matt, if you will go ahead on first and introduce yourself and everything, and then you all just get started and go.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Councilmember. Thanks everyone for being here. My name is Matt Purvis. I am the council liaison for Nashville Waste Services. Some of you may have heard by now, but the biggest thing we've got going on, we're a brand new department as of July. And one of the biggest things that we are doing is we are getting a new collection schedule for Metro. There is a lot of things that need to be changed and improved and updated. For example, at the beginning of this year, we were using paper maps to run our trash routes, which helps no one. So we're doing a lot of modernizing, a lot of changing. And part of that is that all of our customers, which you guys, how much urban services district do you have, Councilmember Lee? A lot or not a lot? I don't think a lot.
On my part, my new district, I don't think a lot.
Okay. Well, this basically affects everybody in the urban services district. So this might not affect most of your people, but the result is that if you live in the urban services district of Nashville, you will be getting most likely a new pickup day for your trash and recycling. Right now, we have live a page where you can go and look up your address and see what your new pickup day is. We are launching February 2nd. So, if you live in the urban services district, in about a week or two, you will be getting a postcard in the mail that tells you your new day. If your day is changing, you will also be getting a sticker placed on your trash can that will lead you to the place to tell you what your new day is. So you might hear us in the news as well. We were in the Tennessean, we'll be in Channel 5. So just keep an eye out if you live in the urban services district, and call Hub if you have any questions. But I'm also here now if you have questions.
Let me ask you this right quick before the questions, because I have had people contact me about how do they change to be in an urban area. So if you could talk a little bit about that, please, Matt.
So, Councilor, that starts with the planning department and the council member. So that would be an annexation from the general services district into the urban services district. I have not done one since I've been here, but I know that Greg Claxton at planning, he kind of oversees that process to begin. Obviously, part of that the biggest difference between the general service district and the urban services district is that folks that are in the urban services district get metro pickup for their trash and their recycling, and they also your area is funded to have street lights. So those are the two main differences: is trash
Okay,
pickup and street lights.
thanks a lot. Because I thought part of the process was to get a survey because a certain amount of the area had to agree or want that before.
I believe so. That all is done through the planning department. I think there is something having to do with a survey, or perhaps a vote. But I'm not entirely sure. I just know that once things are in the USD in the urban services district, it's waste business to collect.
Yes, thank you so very much. And I'm going to apologize now because it seems like planning wasn't able to be on here. So thanks for the information you have. Does anybody have any questions for Matt?
I do.
Yes, ma'am, Antoinette. How are you?
First off, I want to ask Ed Branding. Ed Branding, can you please mute yourself? Ed Branding. And then my question is, are y'all doing any kind of liaison with private contractors? And the reason I'm asking this is Hudgens Disposal has dropped trash in the road twice lately.
Mm-hmm.
It's been witnessed. We've had to go to them and we haven't been able to get them to clean it up. Do y'all have any sway over private contractors?
We are Metro Nashville, or Nashville Waste Services. We are in charge of collections in the USD, but also disposal in the whole county. So we actually do have purview over the private haulers. I'll be honest, and up until now, it's been a bit of the Wild West. We have a lot of haulers that are not registered with us at all. And so we're definitely wading into that space to figure out what's going on out in the GSD and try to get a handle on it so we can guarantee all Metro constituents a baseline level of service. So I am interested to know what's going on with Hudgens. So Torn, if you want to email me, I can try to dig down on that. But as far as the general services district at large, we ultimately plan to franchise the general services so that we can have more oversight over the folks that are operating out there. But that's not the main priority right now. We're trying to get simple things like consistent pickup schedules and just modernizing our trucks. There's some high priority items we need to do right now. But definitely we have our eyes set on the general services district for improvements moving down the line. So if you've got any information about some bad actors out there, definitely we want to know now. And I'll throw my email in the chat just so everybody is just in case anybody needs to reach me.
Thank you so much, Matt. Any more questions for Matt?
Oh, Hannah's got one. Oh, can't quite hear you, Hannah. Not sure if it's attached to a different microphone or something.
How about now?
There it is.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I live in Carruthers, and our HOA has the payment for our waste services.
Okay.
If we have questions on that, does that come through? Is that a service through you guys, or would you?
It is most likely private. Usually, if for like multifamily of any kind, kind of more than 4 units an acre, we require those locations to go with dumpsters. And usually, when those locations use dumpsters, they use a private hauler to pick up their stuff. So it will most likely be private. But if you're in the USD, I would ask your landlord or whatever whoever's in charge of managing the waste services there. There's a chance it is our contractor, but I kind of highly doubt it.
Okay, I think that it is private, but I didn't know if the schedule change would be the same as y'all's.
It would not. It won't affect any of our private haulers outside of the USD. It only affects the folks that are in the USD.
Awesome. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we don't see any other hands or anyone else, thank you so very much, Matt.
Thank you, Councilmember.
Sure.
You know how to reach me, so let me know if you need anything or if anything comes up. I'm sorry I have to run early for everybody, but
but I appreciate you being here, even though you had something else going on.
No problem.
Mary Ann, was your question to Matt?
You might be muted, Marianne.
You're on mute. We can't hear you, dear. Nope, we see your mouth moving, but we cannot hear you. No, ma'am. Did you push your microphone at the bottom? So, Marianne, if you can hear me,
There we go.
maybe next.
Did that work that time?
All right then.
There it is.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my concern is a couple of things. Now, I've used Hudgens since I moved here, and as far as I'm concerned, they're fabulous. They have never failed me one single time. So I really hate to see me lose that. Okay, so it concerns me that, you know, that you're looking to change me to Nashville's
So
service.
that's not what we're trying to do.
Okay,
Yeah, out in the GSD, it'd be more about contracting directly with people like Hudgens, like
Mhm.
Metro contracting with Hudgens to cover you all,
Mhm.
or something similar. Just we need some better oversight over who is in the county, and because, for example, we assess fees to every generator of trash in the county, and we have a lot of folks that aren't paying us. So there's a lot of improvements that need to be made. I think Hudgens. I'm pretty sure I've heard Hudgens before as being good. We have no intention of especially not anytime soon.
Okay, I feel
changing
better
that
now.
for you.
Thank you. Now, another
Right.
question I have is about, I live on Cambridge Road.
Okay.
And, you know, it's, you know, the nearest part of the earth goes through there. And as they go through there, having left all of the fast food places, it winds up on the street. Now, I pick up everything in front of my house and across the road. So what do we do about all that garbage that winds up on Cambridge Road?
I would say if it's just general, you're talking about normal people throwing garbage out, or are you talking about trash coming
I don't know how
from
normal they
trucks?
are. In my opinion,
Well,
they're not normal, but
right. That would just be litter in that case.
it's
and
litter,
NDOT,
it's like beer bottles and soda
right.
bottles and
So
packages of diapers that people, you know, it's
Right.
just disgusting. But
Right.
anyway,
So
It's back to the
NDOT
part that I
manages.
asked.
I
It's
was gonna
back to
say,
the part that I asked for, and I didn't know if it was you or if it was TDOT, to share how people get in contact and how and who they call, besides me, when they need a cleanup or a pickup.
so NDOT, they handle Metro's litter program. I know that they pick up every single they pick up in every single district every 6 or 8 weeks, I believe. That's what they can do right now. They pick up the whole county every 6 or 8 weeks. But obviously it's a recurring problem. If you all see litter that really needs to be taken care of, you can put it in the hub. Or you can call 311 via hub, or there's an app for hub, or the
Right.
website for hub. There should be a place for litter for you all to submit where there's issues of litter, and that'll go to NDOT. NDOT will get folks out to get it up.
called Hub before when big stuff has been thrown out. Like there's still a mattress over there on the other side of the road that someone shared with us. And it's been there now for over a year. So, and that's since they cut off, you know, trimmed all of the road on that side, you can see all the garbage that was dumped there and the mattress. But I guess I call them, they'll have to send a crew out to come and pick it up. I mean, they can't.
That's correct. I mean, that is correct. So that's what they almost require hub requests to be put in. It gets to them easier and faster that way. So I put stuff in the hub for everything, even the smallest things that I see.
Okay.
You gravel in the road, you know, little bits of litter here. I put it. I mean, that's what they're there for. That's what we're all here for Metro, is to handle those sort of requests. So.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ms. Whitney, are you on this? Whitney, are you on this? Okay, I was trying to reach out to see if our beautification commissioner was on here, because she is also someone you can contact. What she ends up doing is putting it in the hub as well. But she also is somebody that you can contact. But for the mattresses, you can call the sheriff's department, because they have a department that is just dedicated to going out and moving those type of things as well. So I would hit both of them.
Okay, good. And I've had good luck with Hub in the past when I've called them for big items that have been dumped on the side of the road, you know.
Great.
They were
So,
supposed to be putting up a no dumping sign, and they had said they were going to do that, but they never got around to doing it. Not that anyone would read it.
yes, ma'am. Okay. And Miss Marianne, if you're finished, don't forget to put your hand up because your hand down because I can see that.
Okay,
And
I'm working.
I'm
Did I get
I'm
it?
gonna
Oh, there we
go.
go.
Yep. I'm gonna go with the fire department just because I see that name up there next. So Mark, are you there?
Yes, Council Lady, I'm here.
Cool. I'm going to let you go next if you will introduce yourself. And did you understand one of the things I wanted you to address about the going over lines?
Yes, I think I understand it.
Great. Thank you,
Mark,
sir.
Mark Young, District Chief of Nashville Fire Department, also the legislative liaison, and I understand the question to be why couldn't, and I'm guessing we're talking about the Nolensville Fire Department here. Why couldn't Nolensville Fire Department respond to my address because they are closer? Is that maybe the question? Okay. Well, they can't because 911, the way 911 is set up, when you call for the emergency, the CAD will pick up on the address, and that address would be inside of Davidson County, and we would have to respond to that. Now, we do have mutual aid agreements with the surrounding counties, and what that means is if we're way out there close to the county line and we need some help fighting a house fire, we could call Nolensville and they could be there very quickly to assist us. And vice versa, we could run into Nolensville to assist them. But as far as a medical emergency, if you live in the county, you are going to get Metro's services. I understand that they could probably be there 5 minutes before we could. And that's absolutely true all over the outline of Davidson County in any area. However, we just don't have an agreement where 911 thinks Nolensville might be closer and send them. What we need is our new fire station built out there, Carruthers or the Pettis Road area. That's what we need, and that's what I would hope that anybody on this call makes emails to your council member, which Council Lady Lee already knows the need of the fire service in the area, but I don't know if I have a better answer, but Nolensville could not respond to a Davidson County address.
So I think I understand completely your answer, but I want to get something cleared up just in case the person who contacted me is on this call. I was contacted by someone who said very specifically that she spoke with somebody in the Nolensville fire station, and they told her all she had to do was to get a letter from the council person saying that they wanted this done and then it could be done. So if you would speak to that, please. And that did not sound like they need help and they'll come help. What it sounded like is if I did whatever this letter was saying, yes, I want Nolensville police to come over, then that would be the first line of contact and they could come over before you all got there. So if you could speak to that, please, Mark.
Okay, well, I will follow up with that statement. However, I have never heard that happening. And the reason for it is when that home address dials 911, it's going to our 911 center. It's not going to Nolensville. So you just think about the communication now that would have to take place. Our 911 center would have to call Nolensville's 911 center, get all of that information. I mean, I just see a big spider web in that. However, if someone from Nolensville, and I know the fire chief in Nolensville, if somebody made that statement, hey, I'll get you an answer. I'll follow up with our department.
Hey,
Thank you, sir.
this is Hannah. I just have a quick comment because in Carruthers, we are listed as Nolensville, even though we are Davidson County, and that could potentially be a piece of that confusion where it keeps getting a little misunderstood. But I think for the most part, most of us know we're Nolensville, but Davidson County. So maybe that's a piece of it, Mark, and maybe that's something that might help in your conversation with the Nolensville Police Chief. Fire department.
Yeah, and then I'll check with that because that is the same situation. If you're familiar with Old Hickory, there's some Old Hickory in Wilson County.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'll follow up with that and get Council Lady Lee an answer, and she can put it back out.
Any other fire questions or concerns?
Hey, Ed Branding asked in the chat, and Mark, I think this would be for you. He asked, what is the procedure for getting new fire hydrants? Is that urban service district or a fire department process or what?
John Honeysucker, I think he's on the call, or was. Yep, he's here.
Hey, I'm here. Don't count me out yet. Now, what was the question? I'm sorry. I'm multitasking. Tawana, what you say?
Mr. Ed Branding is asking, what is the procedure for getting new fire hydrants? Is it a USD versus GSD issue or fire department process or what?
You actually, it's the USD versus GSD, but even so, I would strongly encourage you to send me an email along with the council. Please copy the council lady on there, and I'll be more than happy to check and see what we can do because that'll go through our engineering and modeling group. So I'll be more than happy to check on that.
John, I saw you don't have the ability to speak, so if you'll just follow up in the chat whether that answers your question.
Oh, looks like he put up a thumb. If that was from him.
I did pretty good on that one, Tawana.
John, since you are there, if there was no other questions specifically for Mark, do you want to go on next since you're already on?
Absolutely, because I am multitasking. Thank you all so much, and Happy New Year to all. I'm glad to be a part of the District 33 community meeting, as I feel like you all are family. Really, from my standpoint with the water department, there's nothing new. I think the one thing we have to look out for with the storms coming up is flooding, different things like that. I would encourage the constituents to adopt a storm drain. If they can see if it's stopped up or something, please take a moment just to sweep it off. That'll help alleviate the flooding that takes place within the communities, because we would definitely want to have a positive partnership with all the constituents. But other than that, Councilor, we don't have anything new and exciting that's taking place. Working on infrastructure throughout the city. But other than that, we don't have anything, and I'm more than happy to take any questions that anyone has.
Okay, I heard something in the background, so I think somebody is unmuted. And I just want to take a second to tell you, John, thank you so very much. You do something that I wish the other departments would do when there's a problem. Whenever there's a big break or anything, you always let me know as soon as you find out so that I can put it on Facebook to let the community know. So please, if you are on this and you aren't part of my Facebook, get on that, because when I hear about traffic problems or breaks or anything like that, that's the first place that I put it to try to let the community know what's happening. So I really do appreciate you, John.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I would like to give a shout out just to the other council liaisons that are on this phone call. We have a great network when things go down. or happen, they are very good about reaching out to each other. So Will, Matt, Mark, just a great group of council members, liaisons that work together throughout Metro. So I really appreciate them
I
also.
see you, Tawana. Okay, thank you, John. I think Tawana has a question.
Yes, John, I turned in a complaint a few days ago about some clear cutting that occurred in the creek and above the creek on Cane Ridge Road. And I used Hub Nashville, but there is no place within Hub Nashville to select water as being the place. Whoever's number ends in an 09, can you please mute yourself? 09, please mute yourself. So I wanted to ask you if you can check on that. And I also wanted to see if you can address that a little bit. We're familiar with stream beds being cut where a driveway is going to be crossing, and we know that that is permitted and allowed. But this particular place cut about 150 feet, and it's for a church. And we historically have had issues with churches not really having to adhere to permits and stuff, although we know that Providence Church on Nolensville Road got cited and had to replant and pay fines for some trimming that they did along the creek, and that was done by TDEC. So if you could maybe address both parts of that, please. Thank you.
So I want to make sure I cover that. So the first part is, I know you said you submitted something to the hub. When things like that happen, I do want you to continue to submit those to the hub, but you know, I'm very different. I want it to be sent to me also, because I do like to follow up with it. I trust the hub system, but I also trust myself more to be able to make sure I follow up and be very thorough and complete on your concerns. Because one thing that all constituents deserve is a response back in a timely fashion. And I want to continue that trend, that we make sure that we do that. The second part, Tawana, in regards to the amount of cutting that can take place near the creeks, there is a restriction with that. And I do want to follow up and check and see and make sure that they're in compliance, because you're right. There are a lot of people that will exceed that and think that, well, out of sight, out of mind. But I want to make sure that we follow up on that. So if you don't mind, you have my email address, john.honeysucker@nashville.gov. Please send that to me and I'll follow up with you. The sooner the better.
I'll do that, and especially because we're supposed to have flooding rains, I'm concerned about that, because there's also a very steep bank there, and they literally cut what was in the water as well as right along the edge of the water. And it occurred over the holidays, and we have consistently had issues with people doing things during holiday time when maybe they expect there's no enforcement. So I'll send it to you. Thank you.
That is a violation, and definitely please send that to me. I will get that submitted in. If you send it tonight, I'll have it sent in tonight, and we will have somebody out there tomorrow, first thing tomorrow.
Anybody else for water?
Yes.
Please go ahead. Yes.
This is just on top of what Tawana is saying, because that church is going to be right next to me here. And one thing that I'm concerned about, Antoinette, and I know that you probably know about this, surely you know, I looked forever, you know, in the tax records for any kind of planning and approvals or codes for those people to be building that church there, and what are the requirements, what are the capacities for the number of people and cars to be expected, and there was nothing about that. So I did find eventually under codes the building for the church, the layout, and there's spots within their layouts for two future buildings in addition to what they're planning on putting there initially. And you know, that lot looks, I think it says it's supposed to be about 4.7 acres, but I'm not sure that they're working into that. And they crossed into that land through Mr. Viking's property, which is right next door to me. So I don't, there just aren't a lot of details floating around in the records.
Is this the church that's doing a ribbon cutting ceremony next week?
I don't think so. It's too soon for ribbon cutting. They haven't even broken ground
No,
yet.
Well,
it
okay.
is that one. They have it on their Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Well, what,
Yeah.
they gonna get out there in the mud and do that?
Yeah.
Yep,
Is it a Ghanaian?
Wow.
Is it a Ghanaian church? Some type of Ghanaian?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
Next Saturday, I think, or something. They're having a ground break.
I mean, they've been over there still cutting trees. I mean, they've been doing that now for days and
Okay, well, I need to check and see if they've checked with the codes, if they've got a permit via the urban forester to do anything, or anything dealing with grading. If they're digging up the roots, they would have to have a grading permit. I can find out, though. I'll check on that, and I'll let the council lady know.
I'm just
Thank you, because
concerned.
I understand a lot of that was done like a long time ago.
Well, I know that the property was donated to that church years ago. But, and currently they have the church over in the Hickory Hollow Mall over that's where the current building is. So I don't know why it took them this long to start building or what the circumstances are, but I mean, this used to be a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a lot of cars.
yeah. Okay.
Like we don't have enough on Cane Ridge Road now.
Okay,
Thank you, and I appreciate you finding that out, John.
okay, I will. I'll definitely find out.
Any other questions for John? Okay, thank you so much, John.
Thank you all so much.
And Commander Carlos and Sergeant Stephanie, are you all on?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. How you doing, ma'am?
Okay, would you like, it's always nice to have you. Would
Thank
you
you.
all like to go next?
Sure, sure. I mean, we just appreciate all you do, and just we've got a lot of stuff going on at the beginning of the year here. We've got a lot of things we're trying to do. We were trying to listen to what the community's issues were, and right now, the biggest things we had at the beginning of this year and beginning of the opening of the precinct was traffic issues. And some of those traffic issues have been relieved, but there's still a lot that we need to do. I know we had a lot on some of the main roads, Murfreesboro, Bell, but then, Smith Springs, Hobson, Anderson, and all these other roads that had some issues. And so we're still having some overtime initiatives that are being focused in those areas. Also, the homeless issues that we've had with people panhandling on the main roads. So we're kind of transitioning. I think we've done a lot of that, kind of addressed a lot of that right now. But we're really starting to now look at sending officers into the neighborhoods a lot more. I think one of the things that I've been listening to or hearing from the community is, yeah, you guys are doing stuff, but you're doing it on the main roads. You're really still not in the communities themselves. So that is where we're going to start focusing our officers, really trying to go to those areas where there's some very areas and streets that nobody ever goes through. Some of these little neighborhoods. So we're going to start sending officers through there, get their lights on, just do some extra patrols. Interact. That's one of the big things I'd like to do for 2026 is really start getting into those neighborhoods, addressing right now. We've got issues like um, uh, uh, some of the people just shooting in the air. That's one of those things that's been an issue. We're looking at some of that. We're looking at some issues with commercial burglaries. That's another big thing that we've had recently. So we've got a lot of things that are coming on right now that we're kind of trying to set a strategic plan to address. But again, we're going to be having some meetings with all of y'all. I'm sure, Councilwoman Lee, we're going to be meeting with you hopefully very soon, and that way we can go ahead and kind of start seeing where we need our resources. I know Tawana has been a huge help for us, and she's always there to give us good insight, as well as others in the communities. But we got a lot going on. We got some community events. I don't know if Stefani wants to talk about those. We've got some stuff that's coming up at the beginning of this year, this next couple months. Stefani, are you on there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yeah, if you want to just kind of talk a little bit about what you're doing, just some of the events and some of the focuses you've had on since you've come on.
So right now we're working on building some meetings and some advisory boards with the apartment complexes, business owners, different community members. We've been doing a lot of work with the unhoused and OHS with the mayor's office. We have been working with a lot of the businesses to make sure that everybody has trespass waivers that are up to date. And they have a point of contact at the police department to just bridge that gap if they have some issues that don't necessarily require 911. We have a few events coming up. I don't want to speak too much on them because some of them are not for the citizens. It's more for like law enforcement and first responders. And then we will have a large event coming up in March during spring break to just put some education out there to adults as far as internet crimes against children. And then we're going to have some playtime for the kiddos. So those are our big things coming up. We're also doing Coffee with a Cop. We just did that yesterday. Please follow me on Facebook, MMPD Southeast Precinct. And if you have any questions, I can put my email in the chat. And I think that's it for now.
I want to say thank you so very much for what you all are doing, because I sure have noticed a difference in a lot of the panhandlers where they have been and the trash pile up and all that type of thing. So thank you for that. Thank you also for being out there more visual, because I have heard people say that they have seen you more. I know I talked to the commander about Tusculum and Shyman, that area, about having more sites out there, but I think they're getting ready to work on that road as well. So hopefully that will help some of this speeding in that area. I hope that you all will put some of the areas in the hub when you have specific areas, because police can't assign people specific areas if they don't know. So constituents, I hope you will listen. And if you are like, oh my gosh, do they not know what's happening on this road? No, they may not. They're getting out there more now, and we're saying thank you for that. But if there is something specific, make sure you put it in and let somebody know. So I have a question, because I had a scare at the Kroger before Christmas sometime or another, and this is a big concern of mine. And I don't know how much in our area we have seen it, because I know you all are not supposed to aid them. But do you have any comments or anything with any ICE surveillance or ICE protest or ICE being aggressive in our area, or anything just with ICE in our area? And if somebody sees something that is very bad and they want to let our police know, then who exactly should they call and what should they do? So if you can just talk a little bit about that whole thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's been something that actually I've been um, communicating a lot with the Hispanic community. I've worked with the Latino population in Davidson County for years. I have a lot of great contacts with the Hispanic media, and that's one of the big things that they're asking. It's constant. I think one of the biggest confusions is any undercover cop or any of our plainclothes officers or detectives that are stopping a car. It's automatically, yep, that must be ICE. And so I try to tell them, it's not always ICE. It's many times some of our undercover detectives dealing with different investigations. I'm actually getting ready to talk with our PIO and see if I can put something out in the Hispanic community with just what a metro detective, or undercover detective looks like, what type of vests they wear, what kind of markings they should have, so that you can know, hey, yeah, that's metro, that's not ICE. So one of the things to understand is we do not get any information about what when ICE is operating in Davidson County. They don't communicate with us. They don't have to communicate with us. They have no legal responsibility to let us know what they're doing. Usually, when we find out, it's after the fact, and that's about it. We are not assisting ICE, and this is the same message we've had. Chief Drake has been very clear. He's never changed this his message, and neither has the mayor. We are not ICE agents. We're not federal authorities. We're not federal agents. We have no federal authority to detain people for immigration issues or laws. We don't have the training, we don't have the resources, we don't have the time to do anything that has to do with immigration. We've got too much going on, and again, we just don't have the authority to do that. If you see some of those things happening and you believe that something's being done illegally, you can just call 862-8600 if it's not an emergency, 911 if it is. We will then go ahead and have our dispatchers, relay those calls to the proper agency or department. I would say, like to let you know that we can't interfere with their federal job. We can't go in there. Some people go, oh well, they're coming into these neighborhoods. They shouldn't call the police. We don't have the authority to go in there and interfere. And that's one of the things that people, really need to know, that us local law enforcement, we're not going to get in the way of them doing what they're legally able to do, but we're also not going to help. And so we're not going to be a part of it, of that enforcement. And so that's something to understand. But if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Please feel free to reach out to our PIO, Don Aaron, in his office. We can give you whatever information we can. And I always, as information comes out regarding laws and immigration laws and statutes that come out here in Tennessee that would affect the police department, we usually talk to our legal department and figure out how it's going to affect us as law enforcement and how it's going to affect our jobs. And then we put that information out to the community so they know, hey, now that this law's out, this is how it's going to affect us and how we do our jobs here in Nashville. So again, we have nothing to do with the federal government when it comes to immigration enforcement.
Thank you so very much. And I think another thing that the chief has really done a good job on is talking to Metro Police on how to interact with the public. I've seen a difference, and I have really noticed a difference in Tennessee patrolmen and how our patrolmen work. I think that's a big piece of it. The incident that I almost got into, I was running around taking pictures of stuff and everything because I actually asked, are you police? Are you Metro Police? Or are you ICE? What are you? And the guy just would not answer. He was very rude, and he just said, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? So I was like, okay. Then I put calls out to people and started taking pictures and everything, because if you were, I was going to let people know what was going on. And it turns out that after I talked to the Kroger management, they were security for Kroger, which all of that would have been cut if they had just said that and talked to people. So I wish you would continue making sure that that was on, that the police have good interactions with the community and that type of thing. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I think I
and
see. So
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, and just to answer that, if you ask our officers for identification, they're gonna give it to you. They have to give it to you. So you ask, hey, who are you? What's your employee number? What's your badge number? Whatever you want to call. What's your name? Who do you work for? That's information we have to give you. And so if they don't, and you find out it is Metro employee, Metro officer, let us know. Call the precinct. We will address it. But our officers are really good with that. I mean, I don't think I've seen any that are gonna say we're not gonna tell you who we are. They're going to give you the information, but if you see a car number, get the car number. If you see a name on their shirt or on their vest, get that and let us know, and we will address any issues that come up with that.
Thank you. Tawana, is your hand up for this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Commander, just real quickly, you and Sarge, the incidents with shots being fired from moving vehicles at moving vehicles happened again yesterday on Cane Ridge Road. And both times it has sounded like a rapid fire bump style weapon and a shotgun returning fire. I know y'all collected a whole bunch of shell casings, Legacy at OHB area or Legacy at Maggie Drive. We're, of course, encouraging people to do the right thing and report everything and make the calls and take the time to be involved. But I just want to ask y'all to sort of drive that home at any community meetings that you may have, because people are still bad about reporting it on Nextdoor, Ring, Facebook, and not actually calling. And it is happening with more frequency. We know there have been some federal search warrants served in the area due to some gang stuff, because we heard them in the middle of the night giving out the commands and whatnot. I want to make sure y'all are aware of that because it wasn't Southeast Precinct at that time. And just ask that anytime y'all are able to saturate the area and listen for this and get people to call it in, we would appreciate it because it's just a matter of time till innocent folks are hit. Thanks.
Thank you, Tony. Absolutely. We've had that issue. It's something that we're trying to figure out how to address best. But I think one of the things is being in those neighborhoods, being on those roads and being more visible, hopefully deter some of that. If you know, if anybody knows who these people are, hey, this person, their car comes back or they live at this location, or I know so and so, send it to Crime Stoppers, send it through Hub Nashville, call us at the precinct, and we will go ahead and do what we can to identify who these people are and address those issues. But definitely, I can tell you, the New Year's Eve was a day of chaos when it came to shots fired, and a lot of vandalism from people shooting their weapons, and then in general, people shooting at cars, they may miss the car, and there's always backstops. There's other houses, other people walking around, and that's what we worry about, that somebody else is going to hit. So if you can get us those addresses or those locations, I will make sure that we send officers out there on extra patrols and maybe some initiatives in those areas to get them out there, more visibility and also more enforcement in those areas. So, and I appreciate everything you do, Tawana. Thank you.
Thank you. Mary Ann, is your hand up for this or is that still
Yes,
from
yes,
before?
yes, it is. I am glad to
Okay.
get clarification on this issue with the gunshots because, I mean, they have brought me out of bed at night. And I live way off the road, on a hill, and it is so loud. And I mean, I would have sworn it was right outside my window, but I didn't know what to do. Do I call? I don't know where it came from. There's no information I could give other than the fact that there were gunshots fired. So that's good
Yes,
to know.
yes, ma'am. And when you give, so we do a lot of those shots fired calls. We usually have to see what other information there is. They're all shots fired calls are serious. Because usually when there's shots being fired, that's something that's it's dangerous. But we also understand that without more information, we have to go to those situations, where we know somebody's in danger. Somebody's just shooting, call us. If you see that somebody got hit, or if you see that where it's coming from or where it's going, call us. The more information we have, the easier and the better it is for us to be able to respond to those locations. But unfortunately, with the manpower that we have, we're limited to be able to, to get to all these things as quick as we would like to. A lot of times when they're doing those things, they're doing it when we're not around. And then by the time we get there, they're gone. And so that's the hard part. But we are absolutely going to do our very best to try to be in those areas, especially if you see that there's certain times of the day that this is occurring. Usually it's at night,
Yes.
and so tell us what time, tell us where, and we will start to kind of have officers out there around that time to see if they can catch somebody doing it, and then we will address it as necessary.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Is there anybody else with questions for the sergeant or the commander? Okay, I know I have NES on there. I have NDOT and I have codes on here. NES, would you like to go next?
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone.
Great.
I'm so glad to be with you all again. I'm so glad to always be out and talk to our customers and make ourselves available. I think I came to your last meeting and I shared that we were continuing to focus on our reliability efforts. Part of it has been we've had fairly decent weather, but we have not seen the outages we've had in the past in this area. We've completed our tree trimming in this area. However, we're continuing to move down the path of spot trimming, where we know in some areas where there's a lot of overgrowth on the lines from extreme temperatures of weather causing the overgrowth on the lines. We have to go up and trim in between cycles. So we're continuing to do that. As I mentioned last time I was here, we do have a new system at NES, and so you receive your new account number and You no longer have to call in when there's an outage. Our system knows, but if you think that we don't know, feel free to call in. Make sure that your information is updated on our system, so we could be able to do that. I also want to mention that we are entering we're moving into the winter spring system. So we do know that areas that do have high vegetation are often impacted from strong winds and storms. As we know, we have a storm coming in on tomorrow. It would not surprise me if the power blinks out in that area, because we know the vegetation from 30 miles per hour winds being blown into our lines may cause momentary outages. It may cause trees to come down, and for us to have to come out and restore power for those situations. Our crews are ready. We've been watching the storm as it's been rolling in, so we feel prepared for whatever's going to come tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon. And as I stated, our new system does let us know when outages are out, and the new technology we have out there allows us to decrease the amount of folks that are out for long durations at a time. So we feel like we made good investments in our technology to help our customers in that fashion. Other than that, I don't have any additional things to add. We do have a new app that is going to roll out sometime this spring, so stay tuned. We'll be back at your meeting to talk about that before that comes out. But as I stated, we are continuing to move along the path to provide the best and most reliable service we can for you. And with that, I'll take any questions anyone has.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Carroll. Anybody have any questions? Now is the time, and I think we got the answer, because I know a lot of questions were before. Our area seems to always get hit with the blinking and the blackouts and all of that. So I think we got an answer to that. Any other questions for NES, anyone? Mr. Carroll, thank you so very much. I am going to ask, and I'm not saying you, but somebody, if we have a big blackout or something, if someone can contact me and just kind of let me know like what's going on, like what areas and about what, how long. And I know you can't say how long, but I mean, if it's going to be a long time, or if it's going to be a short time, and just that people are working on it. And that way I can put that out on my Facebook page, and people can be aware.
I can absolutely do that. I always try to be mindful of, I know that you all have a lot going on. You may not want to know every time the power goes out, whether it's from a car hitting the pole, but I will be mindful of that to watch for the circuits that impact your district and let you know as much information as I can, and when when power will be restored. So I can do that.
Yes, something big that more than one or two people need to know about. And I think you have my personal cell, so you can just text me, and in that way I can just put the information over on my Facebook.
I can do that.
I appreciate you so much. You're always good when I call in, so and get things done. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I don't know if you all want to fight about it. I think I have a Mr. Dodd on from Codes, and then Mr. Mitchell on from NDOT. Whichever would like to go next is good.
I'll go ahead and go. Good evening, everybody. Will Dodd, Assistant Director for the Metro Codes Department. Councilmember, appreciate you having me tonight. It's always good to join you guys. I don't have any big announcements, just to kind of give you an idea of what's going on at the Codes Department. I know you see most of us out in the community when it comes to property standards and construction. Those are kind of our two big things that we manage at the Codes Department. I don't have to tell you guys, Nashville's continuing to grow at an incredible rate. I ran the numbers today, and we're on pace to permit about $500 million more in projects this year than last year. So the growth just continues. In addition to construction, permit inspections and things like that, you're well aware that we do inspections for property standards. We enforce the property standards code to make sure that individuals in the community are keeping their property up to a safe and manner that's not endangering the community, that they're using their property the way it's zoned, and the way that the community has agreed to use it. We have started the process, and I want to say thank you, Councilmember. You and your colleagues provided more funding this past year for us to increase the amount of inspectors we have. And so we've been hiring more inspectors. We've hired our own attorney to prosecute in environmental courts. We no longer have to rely on the Metro Legal Department. We have one dedicated to us full time. And she has been doing a great job. We've got 2 paralegals as well. And just as an example, there was a gentleman running an illegal junkyard, I believe out on Cane Ridge Road. And we had gone to court with him several times, going back and forth. Our attorney was able to get a permanent injunction from the judge on the property owner from bringing cars in with the intent to scrap, store, sell, and repair those. We believed that that permanent injunction was violated, so we had filed a petition for contempt. The judge found that owner to be in contempt, continuing to operate that illegal business, and he served jail time in September. Now, that's not always the result we want, but we need people to understand that we mean business. You know, you guys pay taxes, you pay for your homes, you deserve not to have a junkyard being put up next door to you. That's not how the zoning works. That's not how we intended any of this to work. So both our enforcement and prosecution arms of the department are up and working really well. And I appreciate y'all having me. So I just want to be able to answer any questions y'all have. And yeah, I appreciate it.
So I've got a couple of things that I want to kind of throw out, Mr. Dodd, for you to kind of talk about. And I think it is your show when, and I'm going to say a yard is just ugly. It's got a broken down truck parked in the front. It's got trash all over it, those type of things. And if someone like that and you all give them a site and they just go and pay it, but then they're still their yard, they're still doing that, or either they're selling stuff or whatever. Is there a, once you all cite them for something, is there a checkup to see if they're no longer doing that, or do we just have to report it again?
Yes, ma'am. So we do re-inspections on cases like that. As someone said before me, continue to go ahead and, excuse me, submit things like that to the hub. We always like to create a paper trail for ourselves, and it kind of holds us accountable when you put in a submission that has a number and a paper trail going along with it. But that being said, we do re-inspections, we follow up with those. Now, we don't have the capacity, the way the codes department doesn't work, we don't go up and clean the property ourselves. The mechanism we
Right.
have for enforcement is to take people to court. So what we'll do is if we take you to court, they pay their fines and they don't clean it up, we just take them right back to court, charging them $50, and the court charges them $50 per violation per day. So unfortunately, that's the most we can do, and that's what's set forth in the state constitution. I believe that was set in 1796 when $50 was a lot of money. But yeah, that's the mechanism we have today, and we just continue to take them to court and fine them over and over and over. And we do follow up on those. But again, if you continue to see something like that, call 311 or use Hub Nashville, and that gets to us within 24 hours.
I have another question. When things are reported, sometimes there are things that are happening in the yard of somebody who may not fully understand or comprehend what's going on. Do you ever take people that speak another language with you when you go talk to folks to try to talk to them about, you can't have your grass growing this high, or you can't kill chickens in the front of the yard? And the reason I'm using these examples, because these are things that have been reported to me and talked to me about, those type of things, because you may have some of our citizens who don't fully understand. So do you take somebody that speaks the language of the people that are living at that area so that they fully grasp what's happening and what should not happen?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have staffers who are fluent both in Spanish and Arabic. And we're looking to expand that even further. Uh, so when budget season comes around, if you would like to give us more funding for bilingual staff members, we'll surely take it.
I understand.
But yes, we do, and we try to be accommodating to everyone. We understand not only are there language barriers, but cultural barriers for understanding, those standards. So we've been able to accommodate that in the last 2 or 3 years.
Thank you. Questions for codes? Tawana, do I see your hand or is that left up from before?
Oh, no, I have many questions for codes. That location you're talking about is one of the ones we re-complained about over the last couple of weeks. I wish I had realized that there had already been some court action on it, because I would have been more diligent about photographing the wreckers pulling into that property with vehicles on the back of the wrecker 2 days in a row. So that's one of the things I want to ask you to consider, is somehow feeding information back out, so that community members know things have been addressed and should not be continuing. An injunction has been filed. Additionally, even though I filed that, we don't really get any communication back from Hub Nashville saying what has happened, even though that information is public record. So I would like to ask you to consider whether there's some way to do better about that, because that way we can help stay on top of things. And there's more than just me who are willing to stay on top of that. So that's one of the things. The second thing is, hopefully you know that we collectively as a community also filed a complaint about a commercial garage that got put up over a weekend out here and instantly decreased neighbors' property values by 75,000 is the estimate that has been offered by some folks. And they've been ordered to stop the commercial activity and not have commercial trucks. But that in no way addresses the fact that neighbors still have to pay the increased property tax rate that was assessed. And do they make them take this garage back down? Like, what is the actual remedy for the community? And then there's a third instance occurring over on Old Deacon Boulevard where some stuff is being built in a way that we are pretty sure is not to codes, not permitted. That also is occurring on weekends. So we also want to strongly encourage y'all and our council members to support having more weekend people checking up on things. But I know several of us here tonight really want to know about this commercial garage on Cane Ridge Road, and so hopefully you can start with addressing that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So there are a couple things to cover there, it sounds like. First thing is, so our department we enter stuff in to the hub just like individual users do. We don't control that. So a good way to follow up with specific details on a case, e-permits, the Metro website, you can go there and search for complaints by complaint number, by address, by a whole host of different issues. And when you search for something there and you see a complaint or a permit, whatever it may be, the thing that's on there that's not on the hub is inspector notes. So when an inspector goes out and makes a note and changes the status of the case, it's on there. And I can put that in the chat before we hang up tonight. It should be on there, Twana. If it's not, I can look into it if you'll send me an address before we leave here. Another thing that was brought up I kind of wanted to talk about is, so there's work going on the weekends. We get that a lot. So Metro ordinances allow construction work to take place 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It changes to 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. three months in the summer, but typically 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. No one can do construction work on Sunday unless they have a special permit, which we only give out during natural disasters. So it's very, very rare. A homeowner can do repair work on their home, but no contractors. So, thank you. I'll look that parcel ID up. And the third thing you were mentioning, there were a couple of different properties. They're so subjective as far as like, the zoning and all that stuff and the history. If you could send me parcel IDs or addresses for those, I can come back to you with individual notes on each one. I'm not familiar with those exactly, but I'm happy to look into that and can get back to you and the council member.
So are you saying you don't have any more information about the commercial business that was ordered to, so that they cited them for having commercial vehicles on AR2A and for storage of commercial products in a residential zoned neighborhood. And as far as I can tell, those are the only two citations that they made. So that doesn't address the over widening of the driveway, nor the trash dumpster that was put on the roadway, nor the obstructed view that it has caused for neighbors trying to enter and exit from private driveways, nor of the simple detraction from what was the most expensive set of homes on Cane Ridge Road now has this super ugly metal fabricated, I think it's 30 by 50, 30 by 80, it's huge, building that is about maybe 30 feet from Cane Ridge Road. And Mr. Rankin can correct me if my math is wrong on that. Is there anything more going to happen is what we want to know about it. So anything you could quickly pull up, because that one is on e-permits, but that's all it says about it.
And is that the parcel ID you just sent me?
No, this one that I put in there is for the junkyard where no history shows up.
Okay.
The other one, Tony, is it 5871?
Yeah, it's 5871.
Thank you. And Tony, you're muted.
Mr. Dodge, you have that address and everything?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I forgot to take myself off mute.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure, because we do have one more, and I just wanted to make sure that you got everything you needed before we moved on.
I do. I've got it, and I'm going to look up that address while the next presenter is going.
Okay. So that is NDOT. Are you ready?
Yes. Hello,
All right.
guys. I'm Chris Mitchell. I am the I met you guys last meeting, but I'm the new council liaison for NDOT. I know one of the biggest things that I took away from the last meeting was that new church that's being built. I think it's Twin Oak Lane. So we did go back and talk to our development team, and there's nothing we could impose for that church to do because the process had already been approved. The permit has already been approved, so there's no traffic things that we can require them to do. However, I would probably encourage, I'm sure you're probably going to do that, Councilwoman Lee, reach out to the church and see if, they're gonna have like some type of traffic control officers or uh, things like that to flow out traffic.
I think
Another thing,
some of the constituents had already done that and tried to talk to them about having another entrance and exit the way that would, the way that is, but they didn't have any success.
gotcha. It may just be because it's still early on in the process. Um, but I mean, we can always try to, once the church is open, we can always try to figure out something when it happened. But I just know legally we couldn't impose them to make any changes once that permit has been approved. And it didn't meet that threshold, which we talked about the last time. And another update that I do have for you guys had concerns about new school that's going out there on Carruthers. So it's the Tennessee Nature Academy. So they have a lot of conditions that were imposed um, that they would have to meet, and some of them includes contributing to a future traffic signal uh, at the intersection of Carruthers Road and Battle Road. They also have to implement common measures on Fairchild Circle and Fairchild Circle East. They have to submit a traffic management plan for pickup and drop off. They would provide the traffic control officers during arrival and dismissal. So we are requiring them to have some type of traffic control officers out there directing traffic during the arrival and dismissal. A signal at Burkett Road and Battle Road shall be retimed to accommodate the traffic volumes. And we're waiting on a traffic calming, striping and signage plan that they're supposed to submit to the development team as well. And they're gonna extend some sidewalk that's in the front of the property as well. Um, that's that's all the updates for the school. There are some streets that's on the repaving list, which is gonna start back in the spring. We have Pettis Road, and Old Hickory Boulevard, all down there towards Preston Road, Blue Hole Road, Bell Road, Pettis Road area, Cane Ridge Road, Old Franklin Road, to Old Hickory Boulevard. That's a state aid project, and we're gonna try to get that completed by July 1 because we'll be coordinating with TDOT. And we just completed Lynn Murph Court to Jenny Murph Drive to the cul-de-sac. We completed that in December of 2025. The bikeway project on Tusculum, we're estimating to start that in April, along with the repaving of this year. And right now, the roundabout that's on Old Hickory Boulevard at Pettis, we are delayed right now. We're hoping to get that project moving along early spring, but right now we're in a delay holding pattern. Some of your traffic common streets, Hickory Park Drive, the Rivendell Court to Bell, it's in the construction queue. The Brookview Estates Drive, and is it Akala Drive to Bell? That's in the design phase, so they're still meeting with the consultants and community meetings that's going on with that. And construction was completed for the Shodman Drive, Bart Drive to Tusculum Road traffic calming project. And the update that I have for the Mount View and Hamilton Church project said that the final fiber line is being moved as of January 6th, a couple days ago. We anticipate final pole removals in the next couple of weeks, and we can begin the stormwater work. And all other utilities are ready to go during construction activities. There
Okay.
any
Thank you so,
questions?
thank you so very much, Mr. Mitchell. Yeah, any questions?
Hey, yes, this is Hannah. And I have a neighbor, Shauna, here with me. She's got a question for you, Chris, if that's all right.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, have you been out to that Carruthers Farms, the TNA site where the traffic calming already exists by any chance?
No, I haven't been out there.
So I'm still alarmed that the third party study that was provided, hired by TNA and provided to NDOT was approved, because the traffic is absolutely horrific, and we do have traffic calming right now, so they're going to have to take it out and then adjust it somehow. But the traffic in the neighborhood is already it's devastating to our community, and they're continuing to build or propose that they build. Are there going to be any triggers if TNA does submit something that will notify the residents of what the conditions are, or is NDOT going to come out and look at it themselves instead of just looking at the information and passing it through? Do you know how that works?
So as far as coming out to notify the community about the conditions, that's not something that we have done. But those conditions that we have imposed for the development, I just named them. I would say that we're if there's any condition that's not met, then of course we can address it then. But right now, I mean, there's like there's a lot of conditions that we have imposed on them. So we're hoping that they adhere to that, and if not, then we'll have to address it at that point.
Well, at what point will the residents, we didn't know that everything had been approved and contracted out and then submitted to NDOT until it was way too late. That I'm concerned that something to that effect is going to happen again, because right now the traffic is being circumvented onto other side streets because the current traffic calming. And for me, there were 60 cars in a tenth of a mile coming to my house, driving in the community, because there's only one street in and out, and there's going to be 1,400 extra transactions when TNA is fully developed.
Yeah. So one of the conditions was there's going to be there's going to be a retiming of the traffic lights once all of this is going, so that help alleviate some of the traffic. And we're also requiring them to have people to direct the traffic as well. So that I think that'll help out some. Of course, I wouldn't know exactly how that would play out until we actually get to that point.
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. Is if when we get to that point, we're going to see the volume is traffic signals, and traffic calming isn't going to help the volume.
Yeah,
It'll slow us
I
down.
I definitely hear your concerns. And like I said, we're hoping that the conditions that we are requiring them to do is going to alleviate some of the burden for the traffic. I'm more than happy to revisit this when we move farther down the line. But we've had engineers to look into what is needed to kind of help with traffic.
Chris, you're talking about waiting until it's too late and then nothing can be changed, and we've experienced this over and over. And we're trying to get this corrected before it is uncorrectable. And it's getting worse all the time. So a follow-up meeting would be amazing. The community's tried to express this over and over, and people who haven't been into the area and haven't witnessed it in person keep making decisions, and that's what's frustrating. Thank you.
That makes a lot of sense, that people who haven't actually seen it. So that might be a very good thing to have happen. Any other questions?
Yes,
Yeah,
hey, this is Hannah.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I just have a quick question.
Okay, I've got two people. So out of those two people, have one of you not spoken yet?
Go, Lisa, go.
Okay, thanks. Just a real quick question for NDOT. You said that the roundabout at Old Hickory and Pettus was on delay. And it was slated that it was going to be in spring. Is that for sure, or are we looking at more delay? We thought that this was already going to happen. I actually live in Sunset Hills, and due to the hills that are on both sides of our exit out of our community, it's a significant traffic issue of trying to get out of our community, especially when the sun is coming up. And so that's going to help to slow people down a little bit that are coming through there. So I'm just wondering, like, how, when are you sure that this is going to start up, since we've been told this is supposed to have been happened by now?
From what I'm told, yes, ma'am. This is
Okay.
projected to start in the spring.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, was that other person Hannah? I can't see who it was. I had
It
somebody
was
else
me.
waiting.
Yes, ma'am. So one question was for Whitney, and I put it in the chat. She asked, when will the guardrail go up on Blue Hole Road? Is there any info on that?
I do not. I would say once they do that, they're gonna try to put all of that with the repaving, because it wouldn't make sense to put the guardrail up and then go back out and do the repaving. So I can try to figure out exactly when is a projected date for that. But I do know that is on the paving list as well.
Perfect. And then my other question is a little bit random. I know it hasn't snowed yet, but in the case that it does this year, is there any way possible that you guys could de-ice from the red light at Burkett to Battle Road up to the Cane Ridge Park? I know it's not feasible to go all the way down to Carruthers Road, but at least to the park would eliminate a lot of the issues we have as far as people getting stuck and all.
There's a hill.
There's a hill there. So yeah, just asking if you guys could de-ice from the Battle Road section from Old Hickory Burkett Road to Cane Ridge Park. There's a turnaround for the trucks and everything, so it would be amazing if possible.
So I think there's a snow plan, I believe, that has like the primary routes and the secondary routes. But I could suggest that we take a look at adding that to the plan at some point. I don't, and I know we talked about it earlier. A lot of these things usually happens, like the GSD versus all of that as well. But I would definitely send that up as a suggestion as well. But I think I sent out to the council member back in December the routes. If not, I can send that to you as well.
Thank you.
And I think you did. And usually when I get stuff like that, I put it out on the Facebook page. But if you would send it again and make sure it's in a form where I can just copy or take a picture and send it out, so then people will have it again.
Gotcha. And what was that street name, Hannah? Was it Hannah?
It's yes, that's right. It's Burkett Road at the I'm sorry, Burkett Road to Battle. the Battle Road section just up to Cane Ridge Park. So it's
Gotcha.
just a short section. Yeah. Thank you. And I'll figure out how to add it to the hub list too when it comes to time also. I appreciate the info.
No problem.
Well, we have really run over, and because we started a little late, I didn't want to stop and rush it. Does anybody else have a quick question for NDOT?
I see Tawana had put in the chat about a traffic circle. The traffic circles that's the tactical urbanism that goes through one of our local programs, but it is community led. We would front $20,000 for that.
No, Chris, the point is that you said there's gonna be a traffic light as part of TNA plan on
Oh, you talking about one of the conditions?
Battle at Carruthers, and the community doesn't want a traffic light. They want it to be a traffic circle, which costs less to do, but y'all need to listen and then help communicate that.
Okay, I can definitely send that suggestion in. But I will say the traffic circle, and the amount of traffic that the school would probably bring in would probably not be sufficient for a traffic circle. But I would definitely send that in as some feedback that they can look at.
What do you mean it's not sufficient?
So the traffic circle, we usually put those on like neighborhood streets. That's not. This school is gonna have, like you guys have brought to my attention, that it's gonna increase the traffic volume. So traffic circles, we usually put those in the neighborhood streets where the traffic volume is not as high. But like I said, I'm more than happy to provide that feedback to the team and have the engineers see the feasibility of that.
So Chris, here's the bigger picture. There is a very nice, well-working traffic circle over at Century Farms that carries as much traffic as this intersection. This intersection is now carrying traffic through from Williamson County, where they have built several thousand additional residences out there. And Carruthers Farms continues to be built out and will for the next 15 years. So it's also going to be high volume, squarely residential. The school is not at the intersection. It is 2.5 blocks away. And so that traffic would, that's not right inside the traffic circle. A traffic light in the middle of all of these residential communities, including an $800,000 home community that they want to build just down the street. You don't want to put a traffic light in the middle of that. That destroys the community. It turns it into a commercial district rather than a residential district. So I think everybody's kind of begging for y'all to listen on that. Other areas have gotten traffic circles and roundabouts rather than traffic lights, and it makes a lot of sense in certain situations, and it costs everybody less, especially if it's done on the front end. And the adjacent property owners have already indicated they are willing to give over what is necessary for the additional feet that would be needed for a circle. So please hear us on that and help get it taken care of before it's too late.
And
Yes,
I think
I
we
would definitely. I would definitely ping our development team tomorrow about the feedback that you provided for the traffic circle. I'm not an engineer, so I'm gonna leave that up to the engineer to make that determination as far as the feasibility. But I would definitely report back to you guys when I hear back from the engineer group.
And I think they just want to make sure that the points that Tawana brought up were also shared with them. Not just that that's what we want, but those points so that they'll know why it looks like that'll be a better fit for that area.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we are really pushing the time. Any more questions for NDOT? I hope you all found this beneficial to have all of the different departments here, so you all can ask them questions right here in the safety and the comfort of your own home. I will continue to have these. I try to have them like every 3 months or so. And if there are some other divisions or something that I know, what was it, planning that was not on here this time? If there are any other ones, and we did ask for them, if there are any other ones that weren't on here or that you think would be good, then just hit me up and let me know. And when we set the next one up, we can make sure to have everybody on here. I want to say thank you for everybody that hung in here. Thank you so very much to all of the divisions of Metro that were on here with the information to share and listen with the community. Really appreciate you. And unless I have somebody else that has something burning that has to be said. Whitney, did you finally get on here?
I am.
Okay, so I do want Whitney to have a chance to say who she is, because she is the person that if you have also some specific cleanup needs, besides you putting it in the hub, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, you can also send it to her too. So Whitney, would you please just say hello, introduce yourself, and let them know who you are if anybody doesn't.
Sure. So I'm Whitney Campbell, and I am the District 33 Beautification Commissioner, and I would love to be able to help anybody do some community cleanups or help them organize their own. I've often found that the best way for people to get involved in their community is to choose the areas that they think are important to them. And that often is the best way to actually get areas cleaned up. So if you think something's important, unfortunately, you can't always just rely on somebody else to do the work for you. So, but surprisingly, it feels very good and very empowering to get out there and clean up your own area. But I would also be willing to help you come pick up your area. So if anyone is interested, just let me know. And my email address is district33bc@gmail.com. And yeah,
One more
that's
time.
district33bc@gmail.com. And I'd be happy to chat with you about any ideas or beautification projects you have. We do have a little bit of a budget every year to do beautification projects in the area. I think it's we have to always remember too that Cane Ridge is a very diverse area. It's not just, or District 33 is a diverse area. It's not just Cane Ridge. It's also the area north of Bell Road. And so we have to remember that our neighbors are interested in beautification projects everywhere in our district. So
Thank you
that's
so
what
very much.
You're welcome.
All right, everyone. Then I am going to say you still have time left to get some dinner if you hadn't had it before. It's getting dark now, but I'm going to say be careful because tomorrow a storm is supposed to come in. It's supposed to be a lot of rain, and then I think in the afternoon it's supposed to be kind of bad and windy. So if you have things that you need to bring in or whatever, or just make sure you have everything that is charged up, or that you have what you need. If you need to go get gas, get that before this big storm comes. Do what you need to do to make yourself safe. Thank you, everybody, and
Thanks,
have a good
Antoinette.
night.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks.
Have a good night. Blessed night.
I hate that I couldn't get my computer unmuted.
Why couldn't?
I finally figured it out, but I don't use WebEx enough to know.
Yeah, I had the same problem this time too.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to figure out some way to, pass on my passion about how hideous this commercial property is, because what I got tonight was very, very disappointing as far as the passion that the neighbors actually feel. So I apologize for not being able to get unmuted earlier.
Well, I don't understand the one part about what she says about, Whitney says about cleaning up the area yourself. I mean, you can't get out there on Cane Ridge Road and do that or you'll get killed. So that has to be people that are from the